Today we're going to talk about 5 red flags of an unhealed man. This video got 5 million views and one of the most popular series on my Instagram, and I wanted to expand why this is important and how unhealed flags show up in our life and how they're actually related to your worth and how you really feel and carry yourself on a deep ingrained level. We're gonna slowly pick out each part and dive into it. If you find a value in my video, please like and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get to it. So anyways, let's get on with the first red flag. Poor self-care. The way you take care of yourself, the way you show up for yourself is directly linked with how you show up for others, because that in itself is the standard. Say you go out, you don't brush your teeth, you don't shower, you smell, and you look like your life is barely put together. No one will want to be with you. This is the hard truth. Because if you look at yourself, there's certain hygiene, there's certain standard that is missing. And like it or not, without people knowing you, they're gonna see that and see that that's your worth. That's how you show up for yourself, and the way you're gonna show up for others aren't gonna be any good. A few clients of mine are wondering why their marriage are failing while he is neglecting to take care of himself, his basic needs, just shower, regular grooming, and over the years of his marriage, he stopped caring about how he needs to be. And that's when, moment by moment, if you can't show up in these basic things, it's a lot harder to go on with your life and expect you to do the best you can for your partner. And that does not happen without those basic needs, because those are the foundational pillar of how you take care of yourself. So that means shower, brushing your teeth, regular grooming, and just making sure that I look presentable. I'm out here, I can represent. Because like it or not, we live in a very judgmental world, and there has to be a certain hygiene standard. Otherwise, you go around and you want a relationship, but here you are completely unaware and have this lack of showing up for yourself. The basic things you don't do. So now you have to look at that and be like, hey, what do I need to do to change? Because this is not serving me. This is a disservice to me and the person I want to become. So that itself is the first red flags that must be fixed. Number one, out of anything, this is the foundation of how you show up. Coming to my second point is the external validation. Now, there are degrees to external validation, but the moment when it starts becoming a problem is when you don't trust yourself at all. You don't have this internal compass you can rely on that questions your integrity every time you make a certain move. I have a friend who would get in a relationship and completely morph himself, right, as a way to just connect with his girlfriend, just to change every aspect of himself just for him to feel this connection. And what that does is, of course, it's a fake connection. And how it goes is that he is sacrificing his authentic way of how he needs to be as a man to connect. But the moment when you doubt yourself as the man that you are by by neglecting your internal compass, you don't listen to yourself internally, but you morph externally, is essentially a people-pleasing tendency. And you're following a very destructive path because it created such a separation with the man that you are and the man that you want to be. The moment you start relying on others to keep you happy or to keep you tight in who you are, that's the moment when you're gonna really crumble. The foundation of where you stand is not strong, my friend. This temporary solution is not going to help you. So it's to uncover the mask that you're holding. Coming to my third red flag is your values and moral as a man. As a man, you must have something you believe in, something you stand by, something that defines who you are and your character. And that starts with identifying your core values. Because when you understand your core values, you understand the type of people that you want to be with, you will know exactly what is right and what is wrong for you. And a person who has no values and morals, have no certain principle, certain standard on how they live. A person with morals has high integrity, understands what he wants from life and the people that he wants to be with. And that comes to tolerating, right? When you have people that have no similar morals and values, they say certain things, they go over line, you bend over backwards and tolerate more and more. But when you identify who you want to be, what are the standards that you live by, it easily becomes a backbone. It makes you have a character and it allows you to know this is I'm okay with and this is not. A good example of this is two of my main morals is I like to do things that connects me to my authentic self and growth, right? And now when I were to find new friends or look out for new people, I make sure that they carry at least two of these core values that I carry, that allows me to build a genuine friendship with this person. Not like I'm hanging out with someone who's completely unaligned with who I am and my interests, and we're so far apart. That itself is a compromise you can never be done. So the morals and values become the backbone of who you are. And essentially when a man knows who he is and what he believes and his purpose and how he wants to be seen, that itself is a powerful man awakening to his masculinity, because that is the highest level of a man that you can be. So identifying your morals and values is going to be one of the main foundation that's going to help you become the man that you want. To my fourth point, this is going to be all about mental health and the struggles of mental health. Now, I set this as a red flag because I'm not discriminating anyone with mental health issues, we are living in a very stressful environment, whether it's work, your day-to-day, struggling to pay rent. You have all of these problems that could happen, that arises, and life to be honest, it could be very overwhelming. But I mentioned this particular point is because your partner is not your therapist. There is a certain degree of mental health struggle. If you're going through depression, like you're in a very deep rooted depression, that's when you need to get proper, genuine help. And your partner isn't the one to bail you out on this. You have to be the one to do the work and get yourself out of this. It's no one's responsibility but yourself. And right now, it's not the time for you to invest in any other relationship, because this is the time you need to strengthen yourself. This is the time you need to become more aware of those suppressed emotions that you've been suppressing for God knows how many years. And having to deal and understand yourself is going to be the very thing that is going to allow you to heal and never go back to that state of certain struggles that you have. So not making your partner as a therapist, seeking out and doing the work to acknowledge and work through this. That's gonna be the best way. If you asked me a few years ago, I might not have agreed about this, because your partner should be your pillar. They're gonna help you, but that, my friend, itself, that is just trauma bonding. You're holding on to something. It's just not healthy. I was holding on to a relationship when this girl was struggling with her own mental health, and just to be with this person at that time, it was just heavy. At that time, I did not understand my decision, because there was genuine love that I had for this person, and I tried to make it work. But it came to the point that person couldn't even regulating themselves, and every call and every talk was all about the depression and being in this like a victim mentality. And that time, if you can't help yourself, no one can help you. So it's your job to seek and understand that this is a problem and work towards this. And the hardest part about the mental health struggle is accepting your situation and working through it. That's the reality of the situation, my friend. At the end of the day, the hard truth is nobody's gonna love you more than yourself. No one's gonna get the proper care for you than yourself. So you have to create that standard of love that no one else could meet for you, and start loving yourself the way you deserve. So if you have mental health struggle in some deep depth of a problem, gotta work on that. This is not the time for you to invest in a relationship. This is the time for you to invest in yourself and make sure that you could regulate the way you should be regulating. Coming to my fifth red flag is when a man is dependent on the woman to keep him happy. And yeah, a lot of things comes up on this part. I was one of this men. Okay, everything that I'm talking about in this video was me at one time of my life. You are in a relationship, she is your happiness, right? You love her so much. Now guess what? She leaves you, she dumps your ass. And how are you now? How are you feeling now after that? Few years of relationship you've invested. Yeah, you put all your happiness into her. You have nothing for yourself. That's the problem. You did not know how to find happiness from you. So you put all of that responsibility towards others when it's your job to do. Nobody could complete you. Nobody can. It's yourself. When you are completed in yourself, then when you find a relationship, you get married, that's the best. Because you are whole, my friend. You are whole in yourself. You're not relying on something else to keep you solid. You as a man has to be solid in your psyche, the way you show up, the way you love yourself. And that's the very thing. From what I was saying, that last point about mental health, it relates to this, about how you love and show up for yourself. And making sure that it's your own responsibility. One of the things for me was I used to always go out with my girlfriends to trips, never went on my own. And I think it was just 3-4 years ago I started going on holidays myself. And that was the moment I realized, like, wow, this is something so different. I took the time to understand what my needs are, how I want to be happy, how I just want to live my life. And when I got all of this information, it allowed me to understand my needs, what I want, how I want to be loved, how I want to be seen. And this is going to be a journey that you have to go through, because everyone is different. But it becomes a foundation when you can have this love for yourself. Is the most powerful form of love you can ever give, right? This is real love. No one's gonna teach you that. No one. I love myself more than anyone and more than anything. I come first. Yeah? And that's gonna be the key for me to live a life that I want. And that love that you have for yourself, my friend, that is radiating everywhere. The way you carry yourself when you walk, I can see women looking at me just the way I carry myself. I'm not even trying, but I genuinely feel the love for me. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I do the work for me, and I love myself. That leads me to my last point, which was about victim mentality. Oof. Yeah, this is a strong one. A victim mentality, look, I'm not neglecting the things that had happened in your life. You might have a bad history, childhood history, got traumas, relationship here and there. And not excusing any of that. But being a victim, it means that you cannot take responsibility for your life. And you have to find a way to stop. The sooner you stop this, the closer you take responsibility, the sooner you're gonna find a solution. Because being in a victim mentality is still not being able to admit, like, that, hey, this is the cards that was dealt with, that I had to dealt with, and this is what I have to do with today, and this is my starting point, and it's okay. Like, I think the sooner you do this, the closer gap between you and yourself, the separation starts to go away. When you take that responsibility for you and understand that life happens for you, not to you. Like, before, everything that I went through in my life, it just felt like it's such a curse, such a huge thing. Not to mention, I had an accident 6 months ago. I almost died. Like, completely out of topic here. I was riding 100 miles an hour on my CB650R, and yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. And that time I was doing things pretty fast. And when that accident happened, I broke my arm, I broke 2 of my ribs, and my butt, the whole just ripped, okay? And that was traumatic. And at that time, I had no idea if I was gonna walk or my spine's gonna be injured. And 3 weeks into my treatment, it was just felt like nothing good could come out of this. But on the 4th week till the 6th week, then I started understanding why did this happen, right? The fact that I needed to slow down, the fact that it made me understand another level of trauma. And with that, I help men today understanding more of themselves, becoming more aligned with who they need to be, which is their authentic self, removing the mask. And this happened because of my near-death experience. At that time, I couldn't see the light of the situation, but I'm here to tell you that that was one of the best things that could happen to me, because it led me to this path. And so some things you can see that you might not like now, but it is to help you evolve, and it is to help you see things differently. So we are not running away from wounds by going in and jumping into the relationship, because it's not sustainable, and you're gonna repeat the same familiar patterns when that happens. So take the time to heal, to prepare yourself. Then once you dive in to a relationship, I promise you it's gonna be different. You're gonna feel more fulfillment with yourself. And remember that your partner is not your therapist, right? They're not there to fix you. They're there to be with you in your journey. And it's your job to find what you're suppressing. And once you know more of your shadow stuff, you're gonna show up so much better for your life. You're gonna be more confident. You speak your mind. It's everything you want it to be. But in order for that to happen, we must confront the truth in us that we don't want to see. And if you like this video, guys, please like and subscribe, and I'll be coming with another episode soon. Thank you so much for listening. You take care. Bye bye.